Hello and welcome back to Compiler Programming. Today I thought it's time for us to have more complicated things available in the parser, and more precisely I want to deal with structs. So we already have this struct builder setup, which I'm gonna now extract from the test code and put into the function code, so it is easier to deal with and we can use it from other places. I'll just probably put it somewhere around here and maybe even take out this stuff into the headers of the function stuff. So let's take this struct builder and put it somewhere next to loop builder. Sounds about right. Okay, let's check if the tests still run. Never hurts to check. Okay, sounds good. And now we are ready to start actually working on the parser. So I'm gonna do a new file. So we'll say that it's gonna be struct. We'll open it up and let's see what we want to do. Well, I guess in the first pass, I will just use exit process for the status code. And I'm not even going to really use this struct. The first pass for today probably will be just parsing it and making a variable of that type. So I haven't really thought about syntax too much, so I guess we'll just go with the same setup as we do for functions. So there will be this name, then double colon, and then I will say struct. So something like full, or let's say point is a struct, and struct we will say that it has x, which is of type s32, and then maybe semicolon. Yeah, I like semicolon. And then we say y is of type s32. So this is a pretty standard definition of the point. And this is the first thing we're going to tackle. Okay, now I will need to add this to the list of programs that we already have. Let me find one that loads stuff from the file system. So I guess it's gonna be import file. So yeah, this one seems good. And I don't think I will even need a prelude, but we can still import it. It shouldn't hurt us. And I would say fixtures struct. Okay. So I have struct here. I'm not sure if we called it main. Yeah, it's called main. That's fine. So main and main here, void to void, and it's cool. We don't even really need to call it at the moment because it will just exit the test, which is not what we want. So I just want to do it something like this, and then say void of main, so the compiler doesn't complain that we're not using this value. Should be able to parse struct definitions. Okay, let's run the test to see them fail. Yeah, and we indeed have that. Probably want to at some point disable the output with bus or figure out how to make it better, but for now that's fine. This is our failure as expected because we were not able to reduce the the whole body of the program to nothing. So let's find function definition. This is forced lazy, it's not what I want. I want something like function pattern callback. Oh yeah, this is the funky stuff. So, well, we can, I guess, take out this constant definition or something. Okay, scope define lazy. That's good. Right now, we expect the value, I think, to be well, no, this should be fine. Okay, so I'll copy out this thing and then we'll see what we can do. So we have a literal called struct, and then we have curly, right? That's the thing that we want to deal with. We replace these two things with nothingness, and then we need to figure out what to do about this, but for now this will actually make the test pass. So, or partially pass at least. It will, I think it will fail in different places. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we should not actually replace it with nothingness. We need to provide some kind of value, and that value should be a type descriptor. So that's something to do, I guess. Okay, well, for now, I will leave it like this. Just will wire it up with the main code. So rewrite struct definition. Oops, I said struct, and there is something probably at the very bottom. So import file, blah blah blah, and here is match model. So you can say token or expression state, program, global scope, global builder, and then token write struct definitions. Okay, that's a build. It does build, so we should probably see the different error, I think, or maybe actually the same one. Yeah, it's the same one because what happened now is that we replaced this part with nothing, and that made the definition not match with anything. So that's a problem. Okay, so let's fix that. Which means we need to go back to our struct definition and figure out what needs to go here. Okay, what do we do? I guess we will need to give it a token that can be forced, right? So it needs to be value token. Can I get somewhere value token? Yeah, that sounds good. So we'll take this stuff. We'll take this and we just will replace this. And this is going to be like body, body. And now we need to figure out what to put here. Well, let's do that. So we say descriptor star struct descriptor, or just descriptor. We also need to temp allocate it. That's fine. And descriptor, what should go there? Well, let me remind myself how we deal with the types. So we have descriptor, this type descriptor, and we have a value. So this is just the type descriptor, and the operand is none. Okay, that we can do that. That is not a problem. So operand is none, and descriptor is going to be descriptor, and maybe we need two of them, so there will be a value descriptor, that is this stuff, and then there will be a descriptor that is actually the type descriptor. Type, or this one I can call struct descriptor. Okay. So as far as value descriptor goes, actually it should be the second one. This is pretty straightforward. We will just need to put the type as descriptor type, right? Because we are creating new type with this struct definition, and then as for the value, I think it's gonna be type descriptor is struct descriptor. So let's see if it builds. I will not even run it because it's not correct. Yeah, that should be descriptor, and that's descriptor as well. Okay, sounds good. Now the tough part of what goes in here. For now, I will basically create an empty struct, and we'll see how it goes from there, because we will need to figure out how to parse this body. For now though, struct descriptor is descriptor, the type is descriptor type struct, and then I think it's called fields, but I can check. We have here, and we have here struct underscore, and then inside of struct underscore we have field list and field count. That actually should be, we should fix that and turn it into a proper array of struct fields. So maybe that's something to do first before we continue here. So struct is, for now, let's try to do it like that. Okay. Well, that now should not fail, hopefully. Let's see how it goes. Okay. Obviously, we are not actually doing the right thing, and we are not using it, but that will come later. Let me put it to stage current state, and as said, I want to fix this stuff. So type def dynamic array type of descriptor struct field array descriptor struct field, and I'll just call it fields. Remove this stuff. I'm not sure name is actually used anywhere, so that also probably can go. And now we can see what is going on. So here we say now dynamic array length of this stuff, fields. Wait, what are you complaining about? Yeah, I know what's wrong. This should be a value. At least I thought that should be a value. Ah, yeah, I'm missing another brace here. So here it's basically the same thing. And oh, like this is fine. Dynamic array get of descriptor struct, and then fields and I. Okay, that seems fine. What do we have here? This is checking for the name, so apparently name was required. I don't want to look into why it was required, but that's fine. I can put it back. Okay, what do we have here? And here we have dynamic fields is dynamic array make array. What's the name of it again? Array descriptor struct field. Okay, we don't need that thing. We can put it like this. And this some fields is something that we'll need to change as well. So probably I want to do it like this. Some fields and then dynamic array push of some fields and whatever this is. So descriptor struct field like so. And now I can put this stuff. So this is actually fine. And this goes here. Too many initializers. Yes. You're right. This should be like that. Okay. So we have just a few left. And this is struct and. I wonder if we need this at all. Yeah, I'm not actually sure we need these anymore because now we'll just have this array and we will use it for building stuff. So let me try to comment this out and see what breaks and maybe fix stuff there. Okay. So let's figure it out. We'll say descriptor star struct size struct descriptor, right? This is what we want. and we just allocate a descriptor, and we say that star this size struct descriptor is descriptor. We'll set its type, and then here we'll just say field is dynamic array make of array descriptor struct field, something like that. And maybe it makes sense to put that stuff into a helper function, but honestly it shouldn't go into here. I will get rid of this stuff, and instead I will put it into here. Where would be a good place to shove it? Let's put it here, doesn't matter. So that will be descriptor struct make, right? And it will return a pointer to descriptor. That looks good to me. Now we don't need this name. And where was that thing? I think it was here. So we'll just say descriptor struct make, and then we have descriptor struct add field, right? And we will have this descriptor, then we basically have the same arguments here, right? So like this, height and dummy. I think the reason the builder was there is because it needed to calculate offsets or something. So maybe I should not have killed it. Let me recheck. Yeah. So it was keeping track of the offsets, but honestly, that should not be required. It will be a bit less efficient, I guess, the way I'm gonna do it now, but it should still be fine. We have a test to check for that, so whatever I'm doing is gonna be fine. Okay, so let's get rid of this stuff and figure out what needs to go into this method. So this is void, doesn't return anything. It will accept a descriptor star descriptor, and it also accepts what? Oh, this is actually a struct descriptor. This is descriptor star field descriptor, and finally we have const jar star name, or like field name to be more precise. Okay, let's figure out what we need to do. Well, the tricky part is offset. So we'll say offset is 0, then we do standard stuff of iterating over something, so less than dynamic array length of struct descriptor struct fields I, So that's fine. And then we say scripter. How do we do that there? Let me quickly check. So I keep offset separately. Okay, that's fine. Field is dynamic array get of this jazz and I. And how do we do this? Well, let's again check the algorithm that was used. So you go through the list and this does it in reverse order, that's fine. How do we calculate offset? So offset is size of the descriptor. That does not actually look like a correct algorithm for that, if I'm honest. Yeah, that doesn't look right. The issue here is that these guys are all the same size, so that's fine. But this one is not. So we are aligning. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. So basically what happens is we are aligning the current offset of the builder here. I think we should be able to do it just like this. So we'll say field descriptor. Basically, we need to have previous offset. So something like this, yeah, that seems fine. So these are all existing fields. And we will be we need to add this size. So I will say offset plus equals size. And then this actually should be U, I think, not S, if I'm not mistaken. So we take the size of this field, we add it to the next offset, and then we are actually, this should be other way around. So we first align it to the current offset, and then we add this size. And finally, we do this to the new one. So we say so this will be the size of field descriptors of the new one. we are again aligning to the new one, and we are adding that size. Actually, this we don't really need to do because we're not storing it anywhere anyway. We'll recalculate it every time we add a field. As I said, this is why it's not so efficient as the previous one, but we get rid of the whole new struct, so I rather not prematurely optimize this and keep it as simple as possible. Okay, so this is fine, and now we are ready to actually push stuff to the fields. And descriptor struct field, something like that. What does the field have? Well, the field has a name, which we just accept from the outside, and field also has a descriptor, which will be fields descriptor, and then it has an offset, I assume, and that is gonna be the offset. Is this correct? Well, at least it's correct as far as I think it builds here. So this is pretty easy to fix. Okay, and we can replace this with dynamic array get fields. Okay, what's happening here? Oh, this is slightly awkward. Awkward. I don't really have a good way to statically construct these arrays. So that's gonna be a bit problematic. I either have to get rid of this stuff or do some nasty things like the following. Data, and then this is funky. So I will need to say that this is an array. Something like this. Array descriptor struct field struct reflection fields array. And we have data, and then we have items. This is really awkward. I'm not even sure I can construct this statically. So okay, this needs to change how it's done. I guess I'll need to have like a static getter or something like this. Yeah, a static getter would work, but we'll see where it fails. I'll mark this and then we will get back to it. Okay, struct builder. This is no longer a thing. This is also no longer a thing. Okay. This is not really interesting anymore. Well, I guess it is. Let's do it. We don't even need to change much. We say a, right, a x, something like that, and then b, and b also has an x. That even became simpler, which is always good. Let's see what else. Okay, this is the reflection stuff, and this is the stuff that actually we should fix. Point struct, you go here, you have descriptor struct make, then descriptor struct add field, and here is also a field. Okay, the same things I guess here. Just copy this into here because it's exactly the same stuff. And we have reflection. Okay. Do I want reflection? Reflection. I think we do, but not in the way it was done before. So for now, this goes away. I don't want to deal with this stuff. We'll just slow down the rest of things, and it's not going to be as it should be anyway. It was good as a demonstration, but not really necessary here. Okay, so we haven't really done anything, but at least the refactoring is over and we get rid of some stuff, and this is now much more straightforward. So I like that. And that probably will help here with the things. Okay. So how do I want to deal with that? I guess I will create a new function that will be talking to right struct field. That's what it will accept, the standard stuff, and then we expect an identifier, yes. Then in reality, I could probably just use the standard definition parsing, maybe. Let me think about that. So where is expression? So this is what match expression does. And here we have we definition. Okay, definition, what do? You match this stuff and then yeah, it's too different from this to just try to reuse it. I think it will be more messy if we honestly try to use it. So I will copy this and change what I want out of it. So definitely don't need the label. fixed array type. That is, so it tries to match fixed array type, and then if it fails, it tries to fetch the single one. Okay, I mean, seems fine. Okay, now it actually looks fine to me, as this is. The only difference is what it will do once it matches that stuff. So it will not define a value, instead it will push the push a field. And another change that we need to make for that to happen actually is to change it from being strings to being slices. You need to return the value. You'll just return true for now. And now we need to get back to the stuff with descriptor struct. Yeah, and here you will get a slice, and that means that here we also need to change this to be a slice. And here as well. Slices everywhere. This is luckily pretty easy to fix. We just need to wrap stuff into a slice literal. Okay, so like that, and like that. Okay, that looks good. Slice equal name field name. Okay. Slice equal name struct name. Yeah, here you also need to accept a slice. Okay. More literals. And what's happening here? Yeah, the same stuff, I guess. And a couple more. Good. Let's run tests again. Something did not work out. Not specified name in the tagged union. Okay. That is interesting. Okay, let's try to find what is going on there. So I'll open the debugger and we'll just go to this file. Solutions Explorer, properties. don't even remember what it's built for. Okay, it's called spec. Okay, so spec it is. And here it is, and we can do it like so. So name is sum and length is 4, but I'm more interested in this line, so we'll stop and we will run again. Okay, so struct name is none, and here's sum. That's very interesting. Where does this... Because the problem here is the length is 0. So somewhere I actually screwed up while making this. Oof. This is really awkward. How the hell did this work? I'm very, very confused. Did I screw it up? No, descriptor struct is this. So apparently C has very, very loose things when trying to convert fields. So I would not expect this to work, but apparently it does. So that's something very interesting. And here is sort of the same thing. Okay. That's interesting. Let's try again. Okay. Now it works. Back to our stuff with trying to parse all of this. So let me mark this, and I actually want to say token match expression. So yeah, this looks good to me. We have body, we try to go through the children, we here say definition, we split it, we go through them, and then we say, yeah, that looks fine. But we don't try to do match expression. Instead, we just say, maybe we should call it match. I don't know. Haven't decided with the terminology fully. We try to match a struct field. And here we say, we match an ID, then we match this, then we get the rest of this stuff, and we do all of this. And instead of define value and reserving stack, what we are doing is we're gonna say descriptor struct add field, and this is a bit awkward because we'll need to have a special method signature, but that's fine. So we do need to pass a struct descriptor here. And we say descriptor star struct descriptor, and we say struct descriptor, then we pass in the descriptor of actual field. Okay. And lastly, we do name source. So that's actual identifier of the field. Okay, that looks fine. Now we don't need block scope, we just pass in the regular scope. Block result and declare the identifier. Yep. We actually can make this void. Okay. So this will be field state. Match fixed array type is defined way lower. Can I bring it up? I can. But then here he's stuck in match defined. No, that's defined quite a bit above. So, okay. You actually need to be able to return a boolean. That's fine. Doesn't really matter. Okay, let's try to run this and see where it explodes. It does indeed explode. So let me change this back to be function spec, and we are ready to try to run it. We don't need this breakpoint probably. So, I think I know what the issue is, and that is I forgot to initialize the array. Yep. So here, fields is dynamic array make of array descriptors structs field. Okay, let's try again. And look at that. We are able to parse the struct definition. So let me check it right now just manually if it makes sense what we just parsed. And I guess that would be it for today. So where are you here? Okay, we have this stuff. And let's make a breakpoint over here and check out. We should have two fields in there, and they should have names and all of that jazz. So, okay, state, no struct descriptor. The type is correctly struct. So struct we have fields and we have data. Need to make this slightly larger. So we have length 2, that sounds good, and I for some reason doesn't really want to show what is there to me, but I believe it will be the right thing. So yeah, that looks good. We are able to parse the struct definitions and did a bunch of refactoring along the way, which is always a good idea. And soon we'll be ready to actually start using the structs. But today that's all. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully see you next time.